It was meant to start a new food revolution and be a boon for Australian small businesses. But when Matt Hunter listed his pizza stores on Uber Eats a year ago, he says he wasn't given the whole story. Instead of more customers driving higher profits, Matt says he was being driven into the ground.
We weren't making any money off it. We were sort of breaking even, which, if you're running a business to break even, there's no point really running a business.
At first, the food delivery service slugged Matt 25% of every order through the app.
We were doing a $100 order, we'd be handing over $25 of that order. It went up to 30% without sort of any discussions. We sort of just noticed on one of our invoices that it went up. Even at 25% it wasn't really viable, but at 30% it's definitely not.
While the big food delivery companies refused to tell the project how much they charge their partner restaurants, it's thought to be as high as 35% of each order. For Aussie small businesses, that's a cost they just can't afford.
The wage costs are huge, you got your cost of goods, and then your electricity goes up, gas pricing goes up, everything goes up. And then all of a sudden you got Uber Eats that try and come in and they're like, you need to be a part of this, so give us 30%.
But the food delivery services say Aussie restaurants are crying poor. Levi Aaron heads up Deliveroo in Australia and believes the rate it charges its partners is fair.
The rate that we set for the restaurants are done in a way that's commercially viable for those restaurants.
In every industry, there's always going to be change. But to say that Uber's the devil and these food delivery partners are charging too much, I mean, you're going to become extinct. I mean, you're going to go the way of the taxi driver.
Shane D'Elia launched his popular kebab chain Biggie Smalls 2 years ago. He was quick to jump on board the food delivery apps and hasn't looked back. He's adapted his restaurants for the services, with special pickup areas for delivery drivers and even ghost kitchens, which pump out food exclusively for Uber Eats. But he agrees the apps have their shortcomings.
You know, we can't control how long it takes to get to your house, how many drop-offs are made in between, how long the driver takes to get to us.
Well, we're getting a lot of complaints about the product being cold or not as it left the shop. It's still not great because they're actually representing our brand, and it's our brand that's getting to the door.
Here's the thing, Australians are abandoning dining out in favour of takeaway, with our spend on takeout up nearly 8% in 2016, compared to just 1.6% in cafes and restaurants. That trend is expected to continue, with online takeaway expected to increase in value from $600 million to $2.4 billion by 2025. And if some restaurant operators are to be believed, that's a lot more work for zero profits. Matt ditched Uber Eats late last year and wants others in the industry to do the same.
It's killing it, I think. Like, people aren't visiting their local pizza shop, cafe anymore. They're just at home on their phones ordering from somewhere that they've probably never even met them before. So it's not doing good things at all. It's really hampering the industry,
We use Uber Eats all the time, my hubby and I, and he's in hospitality. I had no idea that they weren't able to make any money. So I've sort of said today, well, I think I'm going to have to stop doing that and make the effort to get off my butt and go down to the restaurant so at least they can be making money out of my meals.
I just assumed that you paid money. I've only used Uber Eats a couple of times, but I assumed you paid on top of what you pay the restaurant for their food. I didn't realise it got carved out
But it wouldn't
of
be,
their food.
so we don't know the exact percentages, but it wouldn't be 35% more that you pay, right? So the problem for this...
I'm pretty lazy though. Like, I'd be quite happy to sit at home and pay an extra 20 or 30% for someone to bring me my food.
You might be, but that's not what would be happening. So
Yes.
the problem, I reckon, is for the restaurateurs, they've actually got no choice. Because if they don't sign up to this, they don't sell product.
Or if we change our behaviour though and say, I'm still going to support that restaurant, I just won't use Uber
Yeah, but
Eats.
look at like how we do pirating TV shows and how we use Uber instead of taxis. Our behaviour doesn't change, does it?
No.